Welcome to a Wood TV8 special presentation, Hispanic Heritage Month. We invite you to help celebrate vibrant culture, history, and the contributions of the Hispanic community throughout West Michigan. We'll speak with the local trailblazers who are unfinished in their start towards progress.
So I think we have made many strides on the shoulders of many other Hispanos that saw the struggle.
We'll celebrate and learn together how science is targeting disparities within the Hispanic community.
There's a really big impact on the Latino community with this condition. I think there's a lot of barriers to care, so it's complicated.
And we'll take a look inside a movie that showcases how the first generation is paving the way for the future.
My goal with this film is to create awareness for the struggles that first-gen students have.
It's not just a celebration, it's a recognition of tremendous impact and how Hispanics have helped shape local business, schools, and culture. Welcome to our Hispanic Heritage Special. I'm Community Affairs Director Casey Jones. Hispanic Heritage Month started as a week-long celebration in 1968 before becoming a month-long homage to heritage in 1988. It is the period between September 15th and October 15th each year where we amplify the histories, cultures, and the contributions of Americans whose roots extend to Spain, the Caribbean, Central and South America, and Mexico. We start our celebration here by talking about those who are at the forefront in the Hispanic community in business, culture, education, and activism. News 8's Rick Albin introduces us to a woman who checks each of those boxes.
Lupe Montin.
That name is synonymous with activism in West Michigan for decades. But her story didn't begin in Michigan.
The story started in Weslaco, Texas. My family and I would travel from Weslaco, Texas to Michigan, mostly to the Thumb area, Caseville, to Hobart. Then we go to Old Mission Peninsula, just above Traverse City, and we would pick cherries. Then we would travel to Indiana to pick tomatoes. Then we would gather all the family, and we would go back to Weslaco, Texas, because our father didn't want us to miss school.
After a few years, Lupe and her family stopped coming to Michigan for the harvest, but she never forgot the place that made a big impact on her young life.
But I fell in love with Old Mission Peninsula. It's so beautiful over there, and I always wanted to come back.
Just as she was about to graduate from Pan American University, she got her chance to return to the Great Lakes state.
I was in my senior year when people from the Michigan Migrant Program went to Edinburgh, Texas, where I was going to school, and they wanted to recruit bilingual teachers, Spanish and English. And then I said, this is my chance to go back to that beautiful country, the waters, the cherries, and all that I remembered. So I said, yes, I want to go.
And when she came back, she didn't just come back as an educator, but she came back to some of those same migrant areas she visited as a child, but now as the teacher instead of the student. How important was that when you found yourself no longer the student or that migrant worker, and you're now teaching those children? How impactful was that for you?
It was a tremendous milestone for me. I was only, like 21, 22, but I always had that feeling of the migrant farm workers and the work that they did, and that I had been there. I had worked hard.
For more than 3.5 decades, Lupe taught in Grand Rapids Public Schools in the classroom and administration, all the while still focusing on teaching migrant children. Then it came time to retire, sort of.
I retired from the classroom, but I didn't retire from the community.
Not by a long shot. She stayed busy as the chair of the committee to honor Cesar Chavez and all its associated endeavors, including working with local universities and schools to better educate the public about the important role the Hispanic community has played historically, as well as serving on the State Board of Education after standing for statewide election. Retired in name only, she looks back with no signs of slowing down. I ask her to assess the progress the community has made and what the future looks like.
So I think we have made many strikes on the shoulders of many other Hispanos that saw the struggle at that point when they were living and made it, moved the needle forward. And then my generation has moved it even further, and then it will continue. Yeah, we're part of the fabric. We're part of the conversation. We're part of the planning. We're citizens. We matter. We're part of it. And so I think we have come a long strides. Now, are we there yet? No sense of the word, but I'm real thankful with the progress we have made.
And where there is a step forward here in West Michigan for Hispanic progress, you're sure to see Lupe's footprints nearby. Progress comes in many forms, some big, some small, but all aimed at improving our basic human needs. As our Brittany Flowers explains, the major impact progress can make can be as simple as addressing language concerns in our emergency alert system.
Cristina Soria is describing the moments leading up to a tornado that touched down north of Grand Rapids on August 24th.
10 minutos antes.
She was at home relaxing when the sirens went off.
I was afraid.
She wasn't alone.
And I called my friend. I say, hey, where are we going? Do you know any shelter that I can go? And we didn't know.
I was afraid.
There's a whole new layer of fear that comes during emergencies when English is not your native language.
We have a lot of people that they came and they don't know, they don't speak English a lot, and then probably they are confusing.
Have any of you ever experienced a tornado before?
No.
Before this?
No.
We just heard the tornado siren, but it was just a practice. We never expected any tornado close to us, and that's why we don't have any information where to go.
Rosa Isela Corona says she received an alert from the National Weather Service, but it was in English.
All my friends received the message in English.
Soria and Beatriz Diaz say they didn't receive any alerts. The city of Grand Rapids has its own emergency alert system through Nixle, but you have to sign up for it.
If there is a severe weather warning, a flash flood warning, things like that, tornado warning, it automatically sends out an alert to the phones that are registered for those alerts.
Grand Rapids Emergency Management Administrator Allison Ferroli says they have the ability to send out the alerts in Spanish, but it has to be done manually. When the tornado warning sounded, there wasn't enough time to translate.
We're working on ways of improving. It's not perfect, and we know that, but we're doing our best to do what we can to continue to grow and to improve and to close those gaps that we have.
Another challenge, Ferroli says, is educating people about the system. Currently, just 5% of the city is opted in.
National standard is 20% of your population. That's actually gold standard.
It is a place that
Corona, Soria, and Diaz say they had no idea the city offered this, adding most of their news comes from two Spanish newspapers, El Informador and El Vocero. I contacted El Vocero, and an editor wrote back saying although these alerts are an invaluable resource for our community, it's concerning to learn that even a platform like ours had no prior knowledge about the availability of these alerts, emphasizing the apparent need for improved promotional strategies. Ferroli says they're working on it.
We now have an emergency management specialist that's been hired on about 6 months ago, and part of her job of that is doing public outreach and education. So through that, we're hoping to increase our number of folks that are registered.
The issue, however, extends far beyond city lines. Following the aftermath of Hurricane Ida, which killed 91 people, New York Attorney General Letitia James wrote a letter to the National Weather Service calling on it to issue weather alerts in all languages commonly spoken in the communities that receive them.
This is something that is highly talked about in the emergency management world. The FCC right now is working on reviewing some updates that would include a lot of upgrades around language translation, which is fantastic.
In February, the chairwoman of the FCC sent letters to the nation's 9 largest providers of WIA, seeking information on how they can support more languages. It might seem simple, but Feroli says there's a lot that goes into it. As the federal government works to improve accessibility, so does the city.
It's a marathon. It's a crawl, walk, run process on this. So really trying our best to really get connected as much as possible to folks.
Reporting in Grand Rapids, Brittany Flowers, News 8.
Still to come on this Hispanic Heritage Special, we are taking a closer look at Latinos and medicine. First, a look at how one man is making sure the Latino community is remembered when it comes to Alzheimer's disease, and how his work is breaking down stigma and ensuring a represented relief for families during a difficult experience.
Right now, there are some things that lead to that lack of access, such as lack of health insurance, language barriers, and other issues like that continue to put people at a disadvantage for health.
Why this program supervisor is so passionate about what she does and how it all positively impacts Latinos in Kent County. That's when our special continues. Welcome back to our Hispanic Heritage Special. For more than 25 years, Corewell Health's Healthier Communities initiative has been working to address disparities in the Hispanic community. One of the programs is More Life, Más Vida. It's right in the heart of the Grand Rapids' Latino community on Cesar Chavez. Our Brittany Flowers again explains how this program is looking to remove barriers to health care and make medicine more accessible to Latinos throughout West Michigan.
It's important to know about the disparities in the Latino community.
Gladys Pico Gleason's passion for making healthcare more accessible is evident.
Being part of the Latino community, it's obviously something that I have seen in my own community of the barriers, especially around language and when people are immigrants, really just not knowing where to turn to.
Pico Gleason is the program supervisor for Corewell Health's More Life, Más Vida program. It aims to remove healthcare barriers within the Hispanic community.
There are a lot of health disparities in these communities.
2 of the most common health issues, she says, are cardiovascular disease and diabetes. More Life, Más Vida specializes in prevention.
We will check height, weight, blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, as well as doing some social determinants of health screenings, health literacy screenings, anxiety and depression.
The program also hosts flu clinics, provides kits for colon cancer screening, and has a partnership with Corewell's mobile mammography unit, offering 3 opportunities for mammograms every year. The best part, all services are free.
You don't need health insurance or any of that. We do have a building that is specifically placed in the heart of the Latino community. We have a staff that's reflective of the community that we serve. We've been very intentional in being accessible to the Latino community.
Although More Life, Más Vida is surpassing most healthcare barriers, Pico Gleason knows there can still be some fear. Her hope is to continue making a positive impact on patients so they know they're not alone.
You know, when you make connections with people and you see the need and you see the desire for them to access services, it just gives you more fuel to continue to go on and to serve people.
Reporting in Grand Rapids, Brittany Flowers, News 8.
And our Brittany Flowers continues her dive into health disparities in the Latino community. She's got a story now about a disease that Hispanic Americans are 1.5 times more likely to develop than white Americans: Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia. And additionally, Latino Americans tend to have a delayed diagnosis. So a neuropsychologist at Corewell Health is working to address these barriers.
There's a lot to navigate for families as they're trying to figure out or understand what's going on to their family member.
When Carlos Rodriguez first came to Grand Rapids, he noticed a major lack in Spanish neuropsychology services.
A lot of our tests that have been designed in neuropsychology were developed, standardized, normed in English-speaking populations.
Because there is already a stigma associated with memory loss, Rodriguez says it's vital to ensure non-English speakers are kept in mind when testing abilities like memory, language, and thinking.
There's a really big impact on the Latino community with this condition. I think there's a lot of barriers to care, so it's complicated.
Rodriguez is the only bilingual neuropsychologist in West Michigan. Every Monday and Wednesday, he hosts a clinic specifically for Spanish speakers.
After we complete an interview, then we'll get started with the actual testing process. And it's things like showing people a picture of something and they might have to remember it later on, or I tell them some verbal information that they'll have to remember later on, or I give them a puzzle to work with and I time how quickly they can complete that puzzle. Depending on the outcome, Rodriguez then recommends a treatment plan. It might be talking about medications, it might be talking about modifying the environment, it might be talking about referring to other subspecialties. Regardless of the diagnosis, he says patients and their families always seem relieved to have a provider who understands them. His hope to continue providing this service for an often overlooked population. As long as there's a need, I want to be there, and I also want to train other folks in my field too, so that there can be more providers available to provide this service too. Reporting in Grand Rapids, Brittany Flowers, News 8.
Rodriguez sees between 2 and 3 patients every week, and he says that he's got a wait list to get into his clinic, which is a few months. That's pretty average for this kind of service. He's also hoping to hire a Spanish-speaking psychometrist to help out with his clinic as well. So we've got more to get to on our Hispanic Heritage Special. We're going to hear from a filmmaker about a movie she's created showing the real-life struggles of first-generation Latino college students and help to create a better understanding for future generations. But first, we're going to speak with our own digital reporter, Madeline Bursma, about WoodTV.com exclusive content, a series that's running for Hispanic Heritage Month, what she's learning from Hispanic-owned local businesses about culture, history, and community involvement. That's coming up next. We're back now to our Hispanic Heritage Special, and I'm excited to share with you our next series. It's an online-only look exclusively at WoodTV.com that takes a deeper dive into Hispanic-owned businesses here in town. Our digital reporter, Madeline Bursma, has been working on this series for a couple of weeks now, and Madeline, I love the approach here to look into Hispanic and Latino-owned businesses throughout West Michigan, learn more about their community involvement, learn more about what they're all about, but also some of the struggles that they've been facing and some of the barriers that they're helping to break down. Who have you been looking into, and what have you been learning throughout this series? Yes, I spoke to a variety of businesses here in West Michigan. 3 of the businesses I spoke to were in the food and beverage industry, including Los Amigos in Muskegon. It's a Mexican restaurant that specializes in tequila, and the business owner there really believes in the power of food to connect you with friends, with family, and also to connect you with cultures that you maybe don't know too much about. And this is what she told me about that.
Knowing what the culture is about, I think it makes it more accepting. It makes people, it brings us together and not separate us so much. So joining in this inclusion of who we all are in this world and here, it's important. So I always think food is gonna bring us together, and tequila even more. That's so true. She's not just a woman-owned business owner. She's Latino, so she's probably had a couple of barriers she's had to break down to get to that point, and that's a common theme that you've been hearing throughout your looking into this. That's right, yeah. A couple of the business owners spoke to me about some of the struggles and the barriers that they face, including having to prove themselves and to work twice as hard to prove that they know what they're doing. That includes a brewer at Berserk Brewing Company in Grand Haven. She told me that as a Hispanic woman in the brewing industry, she really has to work to prove herself, and that's actually what drives her forward. So this is what she said when we talked about that.
In such a male-dominated industry, which is the brewery industry, it's always a challenge in trying to prove yourself as a Hispanic, Latina female, your knowledge of beer. You know, you're always trying to prove yourself. So for me, that's what keeps me going, and it's that drive that, hey, Latina women know about beer too as well, and we can make actually really good beer. Did you try it?
I did not try it. I got you though. It looks amazing.
Yeah, okay. So those are just 2 of the aspects that you've taken a closer look at. What else
will we find in this series?
Yeah, you can also hear about some of the community involvement that these businesses have in West Michigan, some of the other struggles that they face, their stories, and just what Hispanic Heritage Month means to them and what it means to be a Latino and Hispanic-owned business here in West Michigan. And you can read all about that at woodtv.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your work, Madeline Bursma, our digital reporter. Head over to woodtv.com. All that's live right now. Thanks, Madeline.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, coming up next, a fascinating look at the side of first-generation college students that's not always celebrated, why a movie was made to help educate first-gen college students on the struggles they may encounter as they go after post-secondary education. We're back now to our Hispanic Heritage Special, and across the country, Hispanic enrollment in colleges is seeing exponential increases. But the barriers between the Latino community and post-secondary schooling continue to stand in the way. Once again, our Brittany Flowers introduces us to a filmmaker, the first in her family to go to college, who's bringing these issues to light.
I want to prove everyone who thought I couldn't make it wrong that despite my circumstances, I can push through and go to college.
My goal with this film is to create awareness for the struggles that first-gen students have.
Cynthia Martinez never expected to become a filmmaker, but she did grow up dreaming of higher education.
I am the granddaughter of Mexican migrant farm workers, and I am the daughter to two teenage parents who had a rough start.
Martinez watched her parents struggle through a life of generational poverty.
Being in situations where I saw my parents have a hard time, I didn't want that for myself. I didn't want that for my children.
In high school, she enrolled herself in the TRIO Upward Bound program, which aims to help high school students from traditionally underserved backgrounds prepare for college.
With Kalamazoo, you're looking at a total cost of $65,454 per year.
For many first-generation Latino students like Martinez, this is just one of many challenges that make college seem unattainable. It's an issue she wants to bring to light in the inspiration for her film.
First Voice Generation is a film about 3 Latino students in Holland, Michigan, struggling with identity and belonging because they are the children of Mexican immigrants. They dream of being the first in their family to go to college, but the global pandemic comes in and exacerbates the challenges that they already have of being first-gen college students.
Latinos are the largest minority group in the U.S., making up 18.9% of the population.
The minority is the majority in terms of numbers, but we're still the minority.
We're part of the future, and I felt that there needs to be more representation, and I know that that starts with education, but we need to show where that problem lies.
The goal is for college campuses across the nation to screen this film. It premiered at Central Michigan University in February to a sold-out crowd and will run at 5 other locations during Hispanic Heritage Month, including Hope College, where it was filmed.
I think for a lot of the young people in this community to see the film playing during a month where we're celebrating our heritage and our accomplishments and contribution to this community, to this nation, is a proud moment for the Latino community.
Reporting in Holland, Brittany Flowers, News 8.
Martinez plans to donate a portion of screening fees from the film back to the community for first-generation college students.